Welcome to Sports Code Prep video tutorial using the hotkeys quick guide to assist in coding. First, let me say you should code a little bit first before you watch this video. That being said, let's start with a simple explanation of what happens when you code. Every time you code an instance, you activate a code button, which are the player buttons on the left, and then a label button, which would be the buttons then to the right of the player code buttons. For example, take a scenario where an opponent passes the ball, one of your players deflects the ball, and another one of your players recovers it. That would be coded, let's say player 1, deflection, player 2, steal, and then opponent, turnover. As you can see, player 1, deflection, player 2, steal, and opponent, turnover. Since the number pad overlay designates the proper key for the player code buttons, that's pretty straightforward. You simply hit the key that has the appropriate player identification on it, whether it's the jersey number or name written on it. And we could use overlays for the label buttons, but we found that most coaches can code faster and prefer working without the overlay. I know I've tried both, and I know I definitely prefer no overlay. Most of the labels are pretty intuitive. If we go over here and we look at the coding label buttons table, you'll see it's divided into 3 columns, and basically it's positive occurrences, not positive occurrences, and then a plus and minus easy column. This is pretty much everything that's coded that occurs during a game at this time. And then if you think in terms of a free throw made is worth 1 point, so the hotkey is 1. A 2-point made is worth 2 points, and the hotkey is 2. And if you go down with the 3-point made, assist, block, charge, defensive rebound, offensive rebound, steal, turnover, you can see they're pretty straightforward. As an example, assist is A, charge is C, defensive rebound is D. However, there are some of the label buttons that require some memorization, and that is why you have your hotkey guide out when you code, because a personal foul is actually an H for hack, which is somewhat easy to remember, but it's not as intuitive as an A for assist. And then if you just go through the rest of the instances, you can simply refer to those on the guide. And then in addition, you can see the hotkey guide is divided into 5 columns. The first 3, hotkey, stat, abbreviation, are pretty self-explanatory. And then the last 2, code button timing and cause and effect, just help you be a little more accurate with your coding when you when you start learning to code. Code button timing simply reminds you that when there's a shot, then ideally you hit the code button when the ball is at the rim, which is ideal for the lead and the lag time, which is set at 3 seconds and 2 seconds respectively. If there's a defensive rebound, then ideally you hit the code button when the hands come to the ball, and then you can look at some of the other examples. The cause and effect simply reminds you that when one type of occurrence happens, it's often accompanied with another type of occurrence. As an example, if there's a made shot, it might involve an assist. If there's a missed shot, it might involve an offensive or a defensive rebound. If there's a steal, it probably involves a turnover. And again, so on and so forth. This is why having the hotkey guide at the ready when you code helps accelerate the learning process and increases your initial accuracy. And then keep in mind that coding helps you improve as a coach. Eric Spoelstra started as a video coordinator before he ever was the world champion head coach of the Miami Heat.